Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta kalyani niratam karunamayam namami chinmayam devam sadgurum brahma vidvaram. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. 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 Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Vritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatva manusantadami Bhagavad Gite Bhavatveshinim Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavai Vedai Sangapadakramopanisadai Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavastita tadgatena manasa Pashyanti yam yogino Yasyantam na vidussura suragana Devaya tasmai namaha Devaya tasmai namaha. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tatvatah tato mam tatvato jnatva vishate tadanantaram sarva karmanya. I think we did not do that. In the last session we saw in Vedanta alone, in Sanatana Dharma alone, it is said that Bhagavan को जानना वो तो ठीक है. To know the Lord is one thing. To enter into, become one with the Lord, that is only unique to Vedanta or here Sanatana Dharma's scriptures, which point out the direction. To be subservient, to be a servant, to be a devotee of God is one thing. to merge with the Lord, to become one with Him, is considered as the highest and most profound philosophical discovery. We can emulate the qualities of someone, but to be that person is not that an easy thing. From externally, it looked like very, very rosy picture. Yesterday, one family was there. They asked to me, Swamiji, my son, who is now in 8th or 9th grade, wants to join the army. I said, very good. Let him serve the country, no doubt. But before that, let him go and talk to a person who joined there and find out what are the difficulties that are involved there. Externally, it looked like, she said that he is always interested to have a gun in his hand. I said, that is good. Also, he wants to do that. That is good. That is on the game, it is okay. But in real time, if you are having a gun and going into the battlefield, that's a totally different picture. Sitting in your cozy bedroom and lying down on a bed and playing a game versus there at the battlefield where any time, in any direction you will be attacked and killed. And holding a gun at that point is totally different thing. So, worshipping of the Lord, that's what Bhagavan says, Bhaktya mam abhijanati. He comes to know about me, what yavan, who I am, yascha asmi. Yavan yascha means how I am, what I am. Tataha, thereafter, tattvadaha jnatva. Here the word tattvadaha means in essence as one's own being, not as an external form of God whom we worship and adore and admire and glorify, but to know tattvataha, atma bhavena, paramatma eva swayam mama hridaye sada vasati iti. It is the Lord who is sitting in my own heart as my own self. Sarvajnaha sarvavid sarvashaktiman Ishwaraha mama hridaye sada. Sada means at all times, sarva karmani api. Sarvani karmani api. In all my actions, He is alone, staying there in my heart. And that is what I am. Yidi tattvataha jnatva, then tadanantaram vishate. He enters into me. Enters into me means become one with me. So one will wonder if realization of God or realization of the self is to disappear from the scene, like this one has disappeared here, that flower is not there, disappear into that. So, meaning a person who realizes God suddenly disappears. No, tadanantaram. That's why the word is put tadanantaram. Meaning what? For others to look at him, he will be a person who is still transacting with everyone because of his purvakritam karma. Whatever action he has done, she has done, that will have an effect on this life, and he will be seen by others as though he is alive. Our Gurudev, Swami Chinmayananda, his heart was functioning only 25%. But you will never know. When he is on the stage, you will roar like a lion. You will never notice that he has issue of heart not functioning properly. And so somebody who became very curious, they took his one string of his hair, that is from his beard, one small string, and sent it to the lab. This is the actual thing happened. And then they tested, because they had the ability to test from the hair, how old is this person? And so he would not give, but somehow they got a hold of it, and then Not that they pulled his beard or something. So they sent it to the lab, and then the report came saying that this person is dead almost 20 years back. So Mahatmas appear to be there in front of us. As far as their body is concerned, they have already left long time back. So it is their prarabdha. Gurudev always would say, I am in front of you because of your prarabdha. And you are in front of me because of my prarabdha. When our prarabdha end, I will not be here. Meaning you need a teacher, therefore I am here. And when your need is over, I will not be here. So that is how he used to say. So tadanantaram means dehapadanadurdvam. When their physical body is also gone, they merge with that supreme reality. And that is the reason why, as I said in the last session also, samadhi of a Mahatma is a temple itself. Because such a Mahatma does not have any rebirth, because rebirth is caused by vasanas, desires which we have. This is causing our rebirth. Meaning whatever we have not accomplished in this life, but still we want to experience, that pushes us to go to the next birth. Just like when do you wake up today morning? Because you have to go to the Bal Vihar. Otherwise, if you don't want to go to the Bal Vihar, Mom, I don't want to go to Bal Vihar today. It's raining and cold. And the mother and dad also, I also feel the same way. And then you won't be here. Since there is a desire to do, therefore you woke up to do that. The nature of a Mahatma become akamahataha. He is no more hurt by his desires. So, one who is no more having any more desire about achieving anything in this world or wanting to experience anything in this world, what is the need to come back? It is not out of bitterness or unhappiness. It is like you go to a restaurant and you ate the food, you don't like it at all. You don't go back. Is that way in this world that the Mahatmas won't come because they are bitter? They are unhappy about it? No. I'm not unhappy about whatever is there in this world, he would say. Whatever is in this world is for people who want to experience it, not for me. I'm not saying that these things should not be there in this world. It is for somebody else, not for me. So one who there's nothing to gain in this world, anavaptam avaptavyam, nothing that is to be gained by me. Such an individual, when he leaves the physical body upon knowing himself as none other than the essence of the Lord, where does he go? We all go to the next one. When we have a desire, we immediately go looking for the proper field or proper environment in which we can start our journey again. The soul definitely goes. Shariram yadavapnoti yachapyutkramadi grihitvaidani samyati vayurgandani vashaya shrotram chakshusparshanam cha rasanam granamevacha adhishtayamanaschayam vishayan upasevate utkramantam sthitam vapi. This way, Bhagavan explains, he goes to the next one, taking along with him all his vasanas and karmas. For a person who has, that's no more, the ego is no more, the desire is no more, then such a person, where would he go? Now, so for such a person, na pranaha utkramanti. The pranas of the subtle body no more thereafter moves away. In our normal person's case, the physical body is dead, then subtle body constituting the mind and intellect, but this is gross body, this is subtle body, along with the vasanas castle. These bodies would surely leave the physical body and then go ahead and proceed towards the next one. That's what we call it as rebirth. But in the case of a Mahatma whose this subtle body has been completely emptied out, as though, and no more vasanas to push him further, there is no fuel. Car is stopped, stalled. So physical body withers away, and the subtle body of the Mahatma, merged with the Paramatma, is available to bless whoever goes there. It's more, in fact, some places it's more powerful than even a temple. Because it is a live person who has left the body and present there to bless. So, tato mam tatvado jnatva vishate. He enters into the state of oneness. Tadanantaram. Thereafter. So we saw how, the next slide, we saw how the action and other things are prescribed by the Lord towards the same goal. As Gurudev said, the term entry is used here exactly in the same fashion as the dreamer enters into the waking state. When you leave the state of dream and when you wake up, are you really going somewhere? I went to the waking state. Where? Where do you go? You are on the same bed only. Neither when you are going to the dream, you didn't go anywhere. So when you say somebody, he went to sleep. Where? I could see him. Meaning, his subtle body is no more available for you to interact with. Body is there. In the same way, a person who has gained this awareness that the Paramatma is himself is operating here as my own self, when he wakes up to that state of awareness, it is as like a person waking up from the dream. Become aware that what I have been doing all the while up till now, there's no reality. It is very scandalizing for many people, you know. That means to say, Swamiji, my wife is not real. My husband is not real. All that I studied, I am an AA expert, unreal. Yes. It is unreal in the sense, he does not give any more undue importance to it. It is there as a knowledge available to him, but he also knows that by itself does not fulfill his life. See, this is like this. I was thinking about this. So, swapne, you have gone out of, come away from the swapna or dream, knowing very well it's a dream only, it's not real. And today you are very busy. When you go to sleep today, do you want to dream again? Do you dream or not? You knew that today morning when you woke up, it was unreal. Would it stop you from going back to this dream again? Only to realize next day morning it is unreal. Every day you repeat the same thing. Wake up, oh, that was foolishness. Go through the whole day. Next day, again the same thing. Next day wake up, that was unreal. In the case of a Mahatma, he consciously will enter into the dream state. This is like I'm giving you like as upama, or what do you call that, as a possible explanation on this. He will enter into the dream knowing very well it is unreal. So what would be the state of you if you know all these are all not real, and how will you deal with it? You can feel it, touch, smell, taste, everything you can do, but it's not real. How will you feel it? See, it is like in Disneyland, you go there, you sit there in the ride, paying the money, getting fooled. That's what the point is. How do you then, will you take anything too seriously then? Anything? Will you take seriously? Now we take everything too seriously. He said this, she said this. Hey, Baba, come out of it. Claim your freedom. So therefore, when a person consciously enters into the dream, knowing that it is not real, he never wakes up because he is already awake. Does he have to wake up? Which he wakes up from? Because a dream, if you have understood it, not understood to be real, unreal, then you wake up to know that it is unreal. When a person who knows that it is unreal and enters into the dream, will he wake up? No, because he is already awake. Supte suptim na janati na supte swapna jagaro. For the person who has slept, he wakes up. For the person who never slept, why should he wake up? And such a person is called Buddha. We are all only Buddhas. Awakened. And he would interact in the world in such a way, nothing will touch him. For knowing very well, it has no reality and it is only having temporary appearance only. So, continuing here in the 56th verse, he says, Sarva karmanyapi sada kurvano matvyapashrayah matprasadadavapnoti Shashvatam padamavyayam Sarva karmanyapi sada kurvano matvyapashrayah matprasadadavapnoti Shashvatam padamavyayam. Sada sarva karmani kurvanaha. Sada, at all times. The peculiarity and the uniqueness of these Mahatmas are that they would not stop doing what they have been doing, but with a totally different shift in their attention, vision and attitude. And thereafter they will work not for profit, not for gaining anything out of the world, not for waiting for somebody to praise and appreciate. They will continuously work mat vipashraya, keeping me as their support. Keeping me as my support means that inspiration that they have is only God. किसके लिए कर रहे हो? भगवान के लिए. किसको कर रहे हो? भगवान के लिए कर रहा हूं. So Gurudev used to say, my audience is not some out there. My audience is Bhagavan. Lord himself is listening to me. I have told you this many times, which I never forget in my life. When I was secretary of Chinmaya Mission Bangalore, the crowd was probably around 2,000-3,000 people when Swamiji was giving a lecture. And then I usually stay backstage, because in case he needs anything, I immediately have to run to him. And I will listen to him from behind. And because I am the closest person to listen, because I am there. Because once he gets up, I have to carry this. He used to carry this with him, because he is not sure about who will remove these things and all those. So he will always carry this with him, because that's so this standard of carrying his book. So I carry with myself. And so on that particular day, when he finished the talk and he got up and he came out of the stage, behind stage, it started to rain, drizzle. So the people who got up became very slowly to remove. And the backside of the stage, it was because of the rain, which has happened the previous night, like today. It was all a little slushy. So the person who was waiting there with the car decided not to go through the usual route, which is away from the crowd. He decided to go right in the middle of the crowd, and which he did not tell anybody before. So and as soon as Swamiji got up, I also got on the back seat. He always sits in the front. So suddenly he took a turn and started going right there in the middle of the crowd. Swamiji was not looking at it for some. What are you doing on this side? No, in India it is. What are you doing? He said, Swamiji, that side is kind of not ready. You cannot go because you have to go inside this. Stop the car, I said. So people were still walking. Right, we are in the middle. He rolled down the window and he said, Bhagavan, 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 Kshama karo, please forgive me, I'm disturbing you. And he was there until the last person left that ground. So I was sitting behind, I didn't say anything. So then he turned to me and said, the audience is not a fool. Audience is Bhagavan. Don't think that you are an intelligent person, you're talking to people who don't know. Always consider your audience as the Lord Himself and speak that way. So, Mahatmas, that is why it is necessary that we have to be in the presence of the Mahatmas. Then they teach things which won't get it in the book. Matvyabhashraya means what? Holding on to me at all times. Having me as their only support. At all times, all actions are performed. They know I cannot do a thing without the presence of Him in me. Not even a blade of grass can grow without Him, right? Now, trinamapi chalati, samvina. Even a blade of grass cannot grow without His presence. So, sada karmani kurvanapi, kurvanaha. And because of my own grace, mat prasadat shashvatam padam avyayam avapnoti. By my own grace, he will get the supremely eternal, imperishable goal. He will achieve. Mat prasadat, padam means abode. And Gurudev writes in his commentary, the prasada means grace. And grace is not something specially for some people. He says, so I wrote also a small, point here. What is that? Right? Disappeared. Grace is like the everlasting sun rays. It is from God for us always. If you don't leave your egoistic ways, you deny yourself His embrace. So, it is like a sunlight. A sunlight is denied to you. If you keep your doors closed and windows closed, can you say no more light? You denied it. When you open the windows and doors, the sun rays will enter into you whether you like it or not. Without your permission, Gurudev would say, will just get into your house. In the same way, Bhagavan's grace is not something which denied to anyone. We are not available. We are busy with so many other things. Our Guruji used to say, Bhagavan does not ask for eligibility of yours. It's not looking for your eligibility. It's looking only for your availability. Are you available? I am always there. So, mat prasadat, when it says, it is my grace means because matvabhashraya kurvanaha, because you are taking me as the shelter and doing it, therefore my grace is always there for you. Mas prasadad avapnoti. And what is that? Padam, that abode, as earlier says, He enters into me. That very nature of the Lord is what? Shashvatam. Ashvatam. Shva means tomorrow. So it is like available at all times. Ashvatam, meaning at all times it is there. Sashvatam padam avyayam, imperishable. So, how does he perform his actions? He physically does, mentally is detached. This is the beauty of such Mahatmas. They do not, we are mentally attached, we don't physically anything. Our attachment is more mental attachment. And it expresses as physical attachment also. In the case of those Mahatmas, though realize their nature, they physically very active, mentally totally detached. So that he says in the next verse, Chetasa sarva karmani mayi sanyasya matparaha buddhi yogamupashritya macchitta satatam bhava Chetasa sarva karmani mayi sanyasya matparaha buddhi yogamupashritya macchitta satatam bhava. Arjuna's the predicament has been, if I am doing an action like that of fighting with the people whom we know, who are dear to us, is it not sinful? And killing them? So Bhagavan has been saying that when you are doing for the right cause, dedicated to the Lord, even the so-called the sin is also not sin. It is like a surgeon removing a part of your body which is cancerous. He is cutting your body, but he is not committing a crime. A gardener removing the weeds from the garden is removing the life of the certain plants because they are dangerous to the rest of them. Therefore, he says, this is an instruction directly to Arjuna. What he says to all of us, Sarva karmani chetasa sanyasya. In your mind, you renounce your doership. In your mind, you renounce your attachment to the result. Chetasa sarva karmani sanyasya, and keeping me as your goal. Matparaha, mai sanyasya matparaha. So you do an action, the same action only, as a war only, as a soldier you fight. But consider that is not your goal. Winning the war is not your goal. Fighting the enemy is not the goal. It is only via media, it happens to be so. But your goal is me. Matparaha mai sanyasya chetasa sarva karmani. And that is why he uses the word buddhi yogam upashritya. This word buddhi yoga is used by Bhagavan many places for different purposes. In the second chapter, he uses buddhi yoga as karma yoga. Because at that point, he says, when you are doing an action, don't do mechanically. Karma and karma yoga, what is the difference? One is action, one is action with the right attitude, right intent. What is the right intent? I am doing my best. The result of it is not only for me. It is Bhagavan's. So when action is the same, but if you look at the person who is a person of action, in another person who is doing the action with the attitude of karma yoga, in the action there will be no difference. See, if a person doing a seva of or a service of a particular kind, let us say if I am asking somebody to do the seva of being in the bookshop, at the same time I can even ask somebody, paid person, to also be there in that shop. Both of them are doing the same act only, but one does because at the end of it he will get paid, another person does because of love for what he does. Not for the money. Action is the same. Attitude is different. Is it not? So here he says, you as a soldier, you will continue to act buddhi yogam ashritya, karma yogam ashritya. That's what he says. Buddhi yukto jahadiha ube sukrita dushkrute. Both the so-called good and bad keeping away from your head. Do it, whatever be you're doing, do it as an offering to the Lord. And therefore, here, buddhi yukto jahadi, ube. In another places, karmajam buddhi yuktahi, palam tyaktva manishinaha, janma bandha vinirmuktaha, padam gacchantya. So what he says here in that context about buddhi yoga, karmajam, all the actions, results that are born out of it, karmajam phalam, bhukti yuktahi tyaktva. Leaving aside the results of action with the help of the buddhi yoga. There again he is using buddhi yoga as karma yoga. But in another place, Machit madgada pranaha bodhayanta parasparam katayantascha mam bhaktya. My devotees are those who are continuously thinking about me and even conversing about me only. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayanti te. There he says, I'll give them knowledge. Tesham evanukampartam aham ajnanajam tamaha nashamyam atmabhavastaha jnanadipena bhasvata. It changes the same word into jnanam. When you continuously abide in my thinking, that buddhi yoga, which is karma yoga before, becomes jnanam. And I will give you that. So here what he says, buddhi yoga masritya, abiding in that buddhi, understanding, machitta satatam bhava. May you remain thinking about me only. So the main feature of this particular verse is chetasa sarvakarmani sanyasya. Gurudev again and again points out here that Hinduism should not be misconstrued as sannyas only. It is no doubt renunciation, not at the physical sense. Don't be a parasite in this world. So in the name of sannyasa, do not become a burden in the society. Doing nothing, useless. 3 times a day, open the mouth, somebody will put the food into your mouth. Work tirelessly like nobody else. Even a person who is paid even won't work that much. Work tirelessly because your love for God. So, chetasa sarva karmani sanyasya. Keeping our mind renounced from the attachment. But engage in the action vigorously with the help of buddhi yoga. So, with the help of the understanding of karma yoga, and as you continue that, then I give you that knowledge. Out of my compassion, I'll give you that. So, buddhi yogam ashritya machitta satadam bhava. So, one would say, if I have you in my mind, will my problems get solved in the world? He says, yes, I will. Machitta sarva durghani mat prasadat tarishyasi adachet tvam ahankarat nashroshyasi vinangshyasi Machitta sarva durgani mat prasadat tarishyasi adachetvam ahankarat na shroshyasi vinangsyasi. Machittaha, meaning your mind with me, sarva durgani, all obstacles which are dangerous, mat prasadat, by my grace, tarishyasi, you will cross. This is the definite need for faith. In the absence of faith, and we think that everything can be achieved only by one's own effort, no doubt, to the extent you need to do, you need to do. But in spite of our own efforts and in spite of our own personal exertion, we are not free of obstacles and sorrows and griefs in life. And interestingly, people ask this question also, why good people suffer more, Swamiji? Our Swamiji, Guruji used to say, good people suffer from your standpoint, but not from their standpoint. You think they are suffering. They are not suffering. See, for example, if I am a vegetarian or a vegan, let us say, and you take me to a party where everything is nothing but fat, all made of ghee and oil and what is it called? Paneer. Full of such sugar, this, that. Now, I know what to eat. There are salads available, there are things that are available which are healthy. Poor Swamiji can't eat anything. Who said? I know what I'm eating and I know why I'm eating only that. I'm not suffering. From other standpoint, poor thing, what has nothing to eat for him? Because they think only eating these things are good and this is what going to give joy. Joy to the tongue, not to the stomach. Understand that. You may eat and enjoy that at that last short moment. It is very joyful and tasty and all. And then stand on the weighing scale, you will know. And that's why many people were afraid to go to a doctor, you know. You'll say something which I don't like. Why should I say something you don't like? Because he will tell you something which you don't want. So, if somebody says, oh, poor thing, suffering. Oh, why do you think he's suffering? From our standpoint, our idea of joy, this person is not having the joy which I am having, therefore he is suffering. But a person who has kept his mind in the Lord has no suffering. Grief is a sign of absence of wisdom. First itself Bhagavan said, Ashochanam Ashocastvam. Prajnavadam cha bhashate katasu nagatasum cha na shochanti panditaha. Sorrow and grief are signs of absence of thinking or knowledge as well as absence of shraddha. Here he says, Machittaha, when you have your mind with me, sarva durganima prasadat tarishyasi. You will cross over all the so-called griefs of life with my grace, definitely. What is my grace? He says that, Buddhyogam dadami, I will give you the correct knowledge. Thereafter, you will never have even a chance to suffer. Name bhakta pranashyati. He has declared that my devotee will never perish. But in the second line, immediately he says, in case. It is not a threat, huh? It is not a curse. Ata, in case, chet, tvam, you, ahankarat, due to your ego, you don't listen to me. Nashroshyasi. What happens? Vinangsyasi. You will perish. What does it mean? It means that you will find your own grave. You will dig your own grave. That's all it is. Because it is not that Bhagavan is going to punish. In the end, he says, do whatever you want. He never said you have to listen to me and then do whatever I say. If you do not, out of ahankara, do not think that what I'm saying is good to you, I don't need to do anything. You will yourself find your grave. Renunciation. And he's not saying I'm going to kill you. No, he doesn't. I'm going to punish you. That also he doesn't say. You will perish. Don't you say to your children also, you don't listen to me, you'll go to hell. That boy was more intelligent. I'm already there. Nowadays you can't tell such things also to children. So, ahankarat na shrosyasi, if you are not listening to me due to your own feeling that I know. Many of us have the habit of saying, I know. What do you know? Stop. What do you know? Yesterday also I was telling one father, he told his son who has turned 16, he turned 16 now, let us sit down and talk about life. The boy said, what do you want to know? So this is ahankar. I know better than you. Ahankarat na shrosyasi. If you think you know better than me and then you don't listen to me, vinangsyasi. You will just perish. See, it is like this. Once Gurudev was asked this question, Swamiji, how it is proved that Krishna was really there? It may be a made up story, completely made up story. There was no person called Krishna. It's all just a Purana, a story created, a character created and all that. Gurudev, his intelligence answers nobody can beat. He said, all right, if I don't believe in Newton, there is nobody called Newton actually. It's all created story by the scientific world. And jump from the 13th floor. Will the law of gravity work or not? Will it work or not? I don't believe in Newton. Jump. Because I don't believe in Newton, Newton's law also, obviously. And so he created the law. No, it was already there. So it is not Newton created that law. Newton discovered that law. It was already there. Even before him it was there. In the same way, whether Krishna was there or not is irrelevant now. But what he said was the truth. Whether he spoke it and you believed it or not, even if you don't believe, it will work. Why? Because it is a fact. If you don't believe in Krishna also, the truth will remain. If I don't believe in Newton also, the law will work. It is not I don't believe in the law of gravity and jump. You will go up or what? Yeah, you will go up. But in a different way you'll go up. not with this body. So it is not necessary that you should believe in some character called Krishna, but understand he is only representing the law which is unchangeable, inscrutable law it is. Law of reality. So, if you don't listen to me, meaning if you don't follow what is being said for your own good only, then you will perish. So, what will be the subsequent consequences of such a person who doesn't listen? Yadahankaram ashritya nayotsa idi manyase mityaisha vyavasayaste prakrtistvam niyoksyati Yadahankaramashritya nayotsa idi manyase mityesha vyavasayaste prakritistvam niyokshyati. So when you say, I don't want to listen to you, yesterday also in a satsang somebody said, Swamiji, somebody who does not believe in God and believes only in nature, immediately I stopped her. Not somebody, your husband, correct? I said, yes. Why you say somebody? Why don't you just say that? Because he's there next to me. So, if somebody does not believe in the presence of God, and everything is nature, then I asked her then, from nature, what do you mean by nature? Tell me. Nature is nature, Swamiji. Tell me what that is. This is also nature. This is also product of nature. Anything that is there as a matter thing is product of nature, correct? That's what you call it as nature. She said, yes. Nature cannot create by itself without the presence of life. If that is the case, one chair is sufficient. No, it will multiply itself. It's the two chairs also you keep it. Next day that won't become three. Without the life, without the presence of intelligent, conscious presence, there cannot be creation. Where do you account that? You're right. Think. So what we call it as life, what we call it as intelligent principle, whatever he calls as consciousness is what is referred as Ishwarananda. Without the presence of that life, there cannot be creation. And the creation is not, as Gurudev would say, it's not some chaotic arrangement of things. It is very, very clearly, and if you look at your own physical body, you will understand how every part of it, which whether you know or not, is functioning for your own well-being. Very coordinated. Now, if you look at the whole world around sun, moon, stars, fire, water, air, the space, and the galaxies, and do you think that it's a chaotic, some kind of chaos created there? We don't understand. That doesn't mean it is like that. So here he says, yad ahankarat, if by ahankarat, by the ego, yad ahankaram ashritya, na yotsye, I won't fight. Iti manyase, if you think that way, because of your ahankar, because you say, I am the one who is thinking about it. I can finish my job. I know nobody needs to tell me. Typically, most children, teenagers are like that. I know what to do. Yada hankara masritya na yotse idi manyase. If you think that you will not fight, so I decided not to fight. Bhagavan Krishna smiles. Mithya esha. It's only temporary. I'm telling you. Vyavasaya te. This decision of yours, nischaya of yours, is mithya. Why? Tvam prakriti niyokshyati. Your own prakriti, your own the impelling, forceful vasanas will make you do it. Arjuna, you are not a normal man. You are a warrior. Do you think that when you go back home, decided not to fight and sit in one corner, you'll keep quiet? That Duryodhana, that Karna, you will get up, I know who or whatever thinks about it. I am going to kill them now. You will do it. Because that is inherently present you in a Kshatriya. You cannot stop it. In another place it says, Prakritim yanti bhutani nigraha kim karishyati. Who will stop it? Now we have to stop it. We'll see. They will come inside. Who will stop that? They will walk in. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhavet. Om shanti shanti shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.